and welcome to the Tennis Menu's daily Roland Garros show. Remember, you can head to the tennismenu.com to find your annual package for just $99.90 US, and that contains over 600 tennis-specific drills and resources that make you a better tennis coach. Val Febo here with you, and well, it was well and truly, as the Polish newspapers would put it, Roland Garros last night, because Iga Świątek has absolutely destroyed somewhat labouring Sofia Kenin 6-4, 6-1 to take her maiden Grand Slam title in Paris. And what a tournament it was for her. She averaged a 6-2, 6-2 win in every single one of her matches, which is just simply stunning. And we're going to review all of the stats. Marc is going to dissect what he thought and dissect exactly where the match went to Świątek. And Joel, well, his head's already wobbling. He wasn't able to get out of his bedroom this morning. That's why he was so early, because he picked it so early. It's so exciting to see a new Grand Slam champion. And also, we're going to preview the all-important men's final. Rafa v Novak, 56. But before we do any of it, Marc Sapulis, the best high-performance coach in the business. He's ready. We have our bet day today. If you remember back to the US Open show, I had a bet that I'd have to wear the mankini if certain results didn't go my way. I was lucky, but this time may not be so lucky. Marc, how are you?
I'm going well, Val, and yeah, what an incredible match and what an incredible tournament by Iga Świątek. I think Joel's definitely up and about this morning, and excited because she was incredible and has been incredible the whole tournament, and well done to her. And it's a great thing for Polish tennis. And if anyone has seen any of her press conferences, she's got such a great level head for a young girl, and we'll touch on that as we go along. But what an incredible night for tennis, and yeah, looking forward to previewing one of the biggest matches I think for the tournament, Novak v Rafa, and wow, it's going to be an incredible men's final.
One of the most significant matches in history. It could be. Rafa could equal Roger, and Novak could move one closer and claim a double slam at all four, winning each slam twice. But Joel Fruci, look at you go. Picked Iga Świątek pretty early in this tournament, and you're just reaping the rewards. So it's very rare that you can pick a female to win from the fourth round or earlier. So that is mightily impressive by you, Stone Cold Fruci.
Boys, Jen Dobre, she's done it. I'm going to go and buy. I'm going to go buy a Tats Lotto ticket. So don't mind me. I'll just be going. It was a brilliant. It really was a brilliant watch. Brilliant final. A bit of a shame that obviously Sofia Kenin was a little hampered, but nevertheless, you can only beat who's in front of you. And what a tournament by Iga. Didn't drop a set. Incredible.
Exactly right. So no, she was absolutely fantastic. And look, we're going to call her the friendly grocer, because in Melbourne and in Australia, we all know that we have IGA, the independent grocers, and well, they all call themselves the friendly grocers. So Iga Świątek is now well and truly in that mold, and we're going to Photoshop her face next to one of the IGAs as well, just for social content. So we can get very, very excited about that. But I thought of this last night, and Joel and I were in absolute fits of laughter. So, yeah, it was an amazing tournament. She beat Sofia Kenin 6-4, 6-1. Started the match really well. Got up 3-love in the first set. Kenin leveled it at 3-all. Had two majorly long games that Świątek was able to capitalize on to get it to 5-3. Serve for the first. Kenin broke back, but then 7 of the next 8 games went to Świątek. And it was a leg injury that did start to hamper Sofia Kenin. She said in that second set that it really did affect her, but to Świątek's credit, it was the first set that did it. It was such a brutal encounter, and what I found was that Świątek was able to just absorb the power, create angles, and really hit that ball back with a lot of kick and a lot of purchase as well. And it was just too much for Kenin to handle, who made a lot of unforced errors. It was 6 winners and 13 unforced errors in that first set alone. So really, I think a really amazing win for Świątek. I'm a little shocked that we've seen someone again so young win a Grand Slam, and Kenin's only 21 herself. So amazing performance from the Pole and the American throughout the tournament. But Joel, we'll start with you, because you are the Nostradamus in this show.
Don't forget it.
I don't think we're ever going to forget it either. I remember you picked Caroline Wozniacki to win the 2018 Australian Open, and we're still hearing about it to this day. So,
yeah, she did win that, didn't she?
Yeah, she did, Joel. She did. But no, go. Let's hear your thoughts on what you actually thought in the match, or thought of the match, and and your observations.
Yeah, well, as you said, Val, the first set was critical, and it was a really important juncture in that set. Obviously, Iga flew out of the blocks, won the first 3 games very, very quickly and convincingly, but Sofia Kenin fought her way back on the back of some good serving to 3-all. And then it was really a case of how is Iga going to react to this? And we spoke a lot about the fact that she hadn't really been pushed on the scoreboard so far this tournament, and we were really yet to see it. But yeah, she responded with flying colours, really. Ended up winning the first set 6-4, obviously, and then from there, 6-1 in the second set. Sofia Kenin was clearly hampered. She took that medical time out, and her upper leg was very, very heavily strapped. And what I thought was interesting as well was I was expecting that the longer the points went on, the more that would favour Sofia Kenin. But in the end, that was quite the opposite. So some of the rallies, the rally stats and the length of the rallies, 5 to 8 rallies, the length of those points, 19-13 in favour of Świątek, and 9+, 13-2 in favour of Świątek. And the first set, which, as we know, in the end is really what set the two apart, was 9-1. And that really surprised me, because I thought that it would be a little more even, potentially in Kenin's favour. But as it turned out, the longer they went on, the better Świątek got. And yeah, I mean, just watching her accept the trophy as well, the speeches, really kind of like her personality, I think, matches the way that she plays. She plays with a lot of bravado, a lot of confidence, and it's really, really refreshing. I mean, just love to see it. I'm so happy for her as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I think how humble she was in the press conference. And she even said that, you know, there's going to be comparisons made between her and Agnieszka Radwanska. But look, Radwanska didn't win a Grand Slam. Yes, she was so consistent for so long, and that does count for something. But Świątek is Poland's first Grand Slam champion. And we've seen...
She already has more weapons than Radwanska did, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree. And the way that she plays and the way that she strikes the ball, I think unfortunately, Radwanska didn't win a Grand Slam. And I think that's what we can look at here, that Świątek has been able to do what no Polish person has ever done before. They have in doubles, but Jerzy Janowicz was able to do it at Wimbledon to get through to a semi-final. But that's it. Lucas Kubot a quarterfinal. But yeah, Iga Świątek has been able to go one better than what Agnieszka did, and she possesses so many more weapons and hits the ball so much harder than what Radwanska did. So it's amazing to see, and especially she always said that it'd be the French Open that she did win her first slam, and she's absolutely stoked. She said she'll need a bit of time to sort of absorb it all and gain some perspective on it, and that she is a Grand Slam champion. But she said it's pretty crazy at the moment. But Marc Safoulis, your analysis is absolutely unparalleled. So I want to hear what your thoughts were on this match and what she was able to do this entire tournament to make herself Poland's first Grand Slam champion.
Yeah, well, we did discuss about her variety of game and the way she plays. She can play from a power perspective. She can play with width. She can come to the net. She's got some feel. So she's got the ability to play so many different ways. And I wanted to just bring up a couple of stats from last night that I think are really important. And basically, we looked at a few different things with Iga. And one of the things that I noticed last night was she really targeted the Kenin backhand on serve. So she would serve to the backhand side, and that would be the first part of the puzzle. And what I felt was next was really important was, from that perspective, she then had a target area, which I found really interesting. She'd open the backhand, but then she'd play majority of the time to Kenin's forehand. And she won most of the points going to Kenin's forehand. There was 16 out of the 25 winners went to the forehand side. Now, that only happens through opening up the side through a particular shot. So she had to go to the backhand to open up the forehand corner. And then from that, the other thing that I did look at was, and you can obviously see this pretty evidently now, is all of her errors came to the forehand side as well. And that's the other thing that we look at, is that the real target area was the forehand. But if we can really think of how she did that, was she opened up by serving through to the backhand, opening up the forehand corner and going that way. Now, you know, when we look at matches to beat players, and we're going to talk about the Nadal match with Novak Djokovic, is to beat both of those players, you have to open up their forehand wing, and you have to put their forehand wing into defense rather than keeping them in offense. So it's no different when you have a player that has a sword or a weapon. You have to ensure that you open the weapon first by going one way, make them play the weapon in defense, not in offense, and that gives you a better chance of actually drawing a shorter ball. Because generally your weapon is always probably your weaker shot as well in terms of error count. So I think last night was really important for Świątek to open up the forehand wing by going to the backhand first.
And that's sort of that sword and shield discussion that we had yesterday, isn't it? Where, you open up the sword and then the shield is already exposed.
Yeah, and she went the other way. She went, I'll go to the shield and make sure I know that Kenin's going to make her backhand, but it's not going to hurt me. And then I'm going to open the width and give myself plenty of space to go to that forehand corner. So she'd go wide on the ad side. Kenin would get out for a backhand, and then she'd open up through the forehand wing. And that's where she drew the error. She hit the winners. And also that's where she made some mistakes as well, because she was trying to expose that side. So it'll be maybe a little different tonight. We'll see what happens with the men's, but it's a very similar kind of concept where you know that the backhand won't miss on both Nadal and Djokovic, but you know the forehand will. So you've got to put the forehand under pressure, but you can't do that by playing it firstly to their weapon.
Yep, exactly right. But what I was going to ask is, when I was looking at that graph there, it looked like she was serving into the juice court to the backhand a lot. But because her backhand would kind of be in the middle of the court there, how do you try and open up a player when they're already sort of in the middle of the court, even though you are going for that forehand? What are you then going to their backhand again after that and then trying to open it up instead of that 1-2 punch?
It's a good question, because what will generally happen is the player, if the ball is slow and you've got time, you can go anywhere you like. But the first ball will be patterned. So you'd think Świątek would have gone, if it went to a backhand, she was going backhand cross court, back to Sofia Kenin's backhand, then opening the forehand. If it came to her forehand, she'd go cross court to the forehand. So she'd try and bring width into the game. Now, Świątek, and we touched on this yesterday, she wants to bring width into the game. Kenin wants to bring length into the game. Okay, now this is the big thing with these kind of players is, and you'll find that with Rafa tonight, Rafa's going to want to bring width into the game, and he's going to want to utilize angles and court space, and Novak's going to want to play more central to try and take away that width and angle. So last night was the same thing. Świątek wanted width, Kenin wanted length. And it was the width that won out last night. And obviously on clay, if you get someone moving in defense, very hard for them to do much on the ball.
Yep. And is that because of and we were talking off there, is that because of Świątek's rounded grip?
Yes, absolutely. She's got more shape on the swing. Obviously, she's not traditional Eastern kind of flat grip. She's more of the semi-Western. She gets around the outside of the ball, creates more spin, creates more shape, creates more width. And to beat her, you can't bring width into the game. You have to be playing through the central part of the court. You have to take away her time and space. You have to nullify that grip a little bit by not giving her width. The only time you give her width is if you put her right into defense. You can't have her in a neutral situation and she's planted her feet and she's set up.
Yep, and remember, you can hear all about these techniques and all about racket grips at thetennismenu.com. Subscribe to the annual package for just $99.90 US. Over 600 tennis-specific drills and resources designed by Marc that will make you a better tennis coach. And as I said, his analysis is unparalleled. We've even gotten into the world of using Zoom screen shares and little drawings, and this is getting high tech now. So now, Marc, seriously, the most unbelievable analysis in the tennis world. And look, we've analysed what happened last night. Iga Świątek, a one-time Grand Slam champion, a combined, this is, if my maths is going to be right here, 36 Grand Slam championships between these two men that are playing tonight. Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal, two ultimate titans of this sport. Look, neither of us, I don't think any of the three of us are really quite sure who is going to win this match. But Joel, we'll start with you and sort of what you've thought of the two players this tournament, because looking at what I've seen Rafa has really started to peak a little bit more throughout this tournament, and he's gotten better and better and better, and he's withstood the challenges of Jannik Sinner, Diego Schwartzman. Djokovic has actually succumbed a little bit because he was playing against Pablo Carreño Busta, dropped a set there, and looked a bit hampered against Stefanos Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas was able to claw his way back, but Novak tactically was too good, and his tactical nous has always been as good as anybody's, and was able to use the drop shots and break Tsitsipas down. But if he didn't, I'm convinced that Tsitsipas might have been able to go with him and win that fifth. So looking at the two, what are your thoughts, and where is this match going to be won?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. You're right though, Val. Rafa has probably settled the further the tournament's gone on, and I think that match against Yannick Sinner was a real indicator of how things were going for him. Obviously, experience won out in the end, but I think the reason it was so fascinating was because of how hard Sinner hits the ball and how Rafa would respond to that. But in the end, he eventually did wear him down, and against Diego Schwartzman as well, he really sort of held his own and kept on top of Diego. Novak, I mean, before that match against Stefanos Tsitsipas, I mean, he looked untroubled really for the most part, and was just looking so clean. What really impressed me about him, and we did speak about this the other day, was tactically how he readjusted going into that fifth set, and that's the tennis brain that Novak has over a lot of people, and why he's in the position that he's in. And overall, well, still unbeaten in 2020, apart from, of course, the
he's not
the Laura Clark episode. But yeah, I mean, it's really sort of hard to say where this is going to go. Do you go with the guy that's going for 13 Roland Garros titles, or do you go for a guy that hasn't lost a match in 2020 apart from the incident? We do have to stress that. But look, I think I'm going to go for Rafa, but in a very, very long match. I'm going to go Rafa in 5.
Yep, and I don't think we're going to be able to stay up for this, because I think it's just going to be absolutely so difficult. They started the women's match. They started the women's match at midnight Australian time. Oh my God, this starts at 3:00 Paris time.
Oh, okay. Good night. See you later.
What time is that? That's ridiculous. So at the moment, when we're recording this, let's get the world clock out. It is where's Paris here? I had it somewhere.
I think that's midnight too.
It's 1:40. It's 1:46 a.m. Yep. So that's going to be another hour and a half. So midnight Australian time. Like, are they serious? Are they absolutely? I'm very angry. I'm very angry. But yeah. So look, I think it's going to be tight as well. But as you said, I do think Rafa Nadal. I think the way that he's played towards the back end of this tournament, even at the start of the tournament, he plays against players that he eats for breakfast. Again, you've got Gerasimov, and then you've got Mackenzie McDonald. That was never a contest. And then you've got Travaglia and Korda. He was always going to beat them easily. But then when he came up against a red-hot Yannick Sinner, who I think if that was on a hard court or a grass court, I think Sinner would have beaten him because of the extra speed, and he would have been able to dictate Rafa a little bit more. But then you got Diego Schwartzman, who again, maybe on a hard or a grass, it might have been a little bit difficult, but he played really well and pushed Rafa, gave him the test that he needs. Novak against, I can't remember. So it was Ema, and then it was Galan. I can't remember who he played in the second, and Berankis in the second round. He would normally eat them for breakfast on any surface. Then you got Karen Khachanov, who kind of pushed him a little bit, 6-4, 6-3, 6-3. So it was close. And then you've got the quarterfinal against Carreño Busta, took a set off him, and then the semi against Tsitsipas. It's progressively gotten harder for him, and I think he's going to be worse off for that. And that's why I'm leaning more towards Rafa. We'll give a definitive pick at the end of the show, because we do have our betting segment or our bets to come, not betting segment because we don't condone that, but our bets between the three of us. But Marc, we want your opinion and what you think is going to happen in this match, and where the Novak Nadal match is going to be won and lost.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting one, and I think this is another match that it's probably harder to pick than a clean nose again. I think it's going to be a really interesting one to watch how the battle goes and how the tactical concepts are played. And there's no doubt that I think Novak does have a game that can probably hurt Rafa, even if it's on clay. We saw Sinner, breaking the baseline with the ball and playing through pure power and taking away the ability for Rafa to be able to really get the ball to lift up. Now, he just wasn't consistent enough for long enough. Whereas I think Novak has the ability, well, I do know Novak has the ability to play bigger through the court and probably pressing for some speed and take away the time. I think if there's width in the game, it's Rafa's match. If there's length in the game, it's Novak's match. It's definitely going to go for a long period of time. I know that that for a fact. And it's all going to depend a little bit also on whether Novak is 100% fit. obviously we have seen a little bit of, I guess, injury concern with his neck and obviously into his left arm. So there's a couple of little concerns there. But if he is fit, I think that Novak may really take this one. And I mean, I'm not saying that with any confidence whatsoever, but I think that he's got the game to beat Rafa. I think it's Rafa's to lose. I still think the 12-time champion at Roland Garros, you can't discount him. I mean, he's been outstanding and played amazing tennis. But at the end of the day, like, I think Novak's game could really test him in this one. And yeah, I think that Novak's ability in the previous match to hit those 20 drop shot winners is going to come into play here, because I feel like the way that Rafa wants to play is he's obviously pushing or holding himself back off the back of the court a little bit further back than what Tsitsipas does because of the grip differences in the game style. So that opening of the front part of the court's going to be there. And Rafa isn't great at retrieving the drop shot and winning a point from the drop shot. And I feel like that's an area that Novak can expose if he pushes him back through the length ball and can utilize the front of the court. That's going to really hurt him. But yeah, it's a really challenging one. I mean, I'm going to go Novak in 4 with no absolute confidence at all. But I feel like he's got the game to probably push him the same way Sinner did, but just for a little bit longer.
Yep. I think it's going to be a cracking matchup. And I think from what we've seen from both this tournament, but one thing that I think will go into Rafa's favor, he won't cramp. If Novak is going to hit those drop shots, Nadal isn't going to cramp. And the way that Tsitsipas does play allows Novak, from what I've noticed, allows Novak to play the drop shot more frequently. I don't think Rafa gives you that opportunity as frequently as what Tsitsipas does. Is that because of the spin, or is that because of just the sheer weight of ball that Nadal hits, or is Djokovic just going to be good enough to produce it at the right time?
I think what he's going to try and do is utilize it to take away Rafa's ability to control the back of the court. Now, you know, Novak will stay in the rallies back. The thing that he's got differently to Tsitsipas is that he can stay in the rally longer on the backhand wing. Okay, so Novak's going to hold that position a little longer. Backhand to forehand is not going to trouble him as much. And I think he'll stay really, really strong, Novak, on the backhand side. But he's going to need to get away from just staying in the rally. He can't stay in the rally just for the sake of it in this match. He's going to have to take the game away from Rafa. He's going to have to play through the court. He's going to have to play aggressive. And he's going to have to take Rafa back to open up the front of the court. Now, is it going to get him more tired? Not like Tsitsipas. I think Rafa's a more seasoned athlete, absolutely. But what it will do is he will have to readjust his court position. And that's what Rafa probably doesn't want to do as much. He wants to stick to his plan. He's not a volleyer. He will come to the net and finish off points, absolutely, and has a great record of finishing off points at the net. But he doesn't want to be stuck at the net. You know, he wants to be in his element, which is at the back of the court, and that's how he's won his 12 Roland Garros already. He's controlled the back of the court. He's controlled the height of the game. He's controlled the width of the game. Novak can't allow that to happen. And, you know, if he does, I mean, he's going to win this match. But I think Novak, I think he's seen what Sinner did. If he's fit and healthy, I think he's got the game consistently to break the baseline, to take that time away, to keep the depth in the game. And that's where I think that the game will be won and lost.
Yeah, it's extremely exciting, and I think that the prospect of what this match is going to bring is genuinely amazing. They met in the 2012 French Open final, and that went to Nadal in 4. They also met in the 2014 French Open final, and that went to Nadal in 4 as well. So another Roland Garros final meeting and another epic prospect is what we have. But it is time for the all-important bets. And in the US Open, we know we made this bet, and I may or may not have had to wear a mankini. I didn't have to wear it in the end, but that was the bet. Marc didn't really come up with a good one for himself, but we have a good one for him this time around. And Joel is now involved in this as well. And Joel's is probably going to be the most humiliating, to be quite honest, even though it's probably the least amount of work. All right, so look, let's do our picks first and why, and then we'll go to our bets. So, Marc, you said Novak in 4, I'm pretty sure.
Novak in 4.
Is that just because of how he's played this this French Open?
Yeah, I think so. It's absolutely no confidence whatsoever. I think this could go either way. I really do. I think there's 2 factors that have brought this into it. One is the fact that I think he can be out there as long as Rafa, and he can really sustain the level for a longer period than probably what the offensive players have done in the past, like Yannick Sinner. That's one. And the second one is that I've been sponsored by Head for the last 15 years, so I'll just go with the Head racket. So, and hopefully Danny Cherry's watching this episode. And Danny, there you go, mate. There's one for you. I've got the hat on still, and yeah, let's do that.
All right. Well, fantastic. Well, wasn't expecting that at all. Absolutely brilliant by you, Marc, and analysis, as I said, unparalleled. Joel, yours.
I'm going to go Rafa in 5. Why? Because this is his stage. It's his castle, but Novak knows how to walk on water across the moat. So I'm going to go Rafa in 5. And if Novak wins, I will, tomorrow on the show, I will say Novak Djokovic is God and is the love of my life in Serbia.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that second part. Oh, that's great. Oh, you poor bastard. All right. Well, yeah, as you said, Rafa, look, this is his stage. This is his stage. And caught Philippe Chatrier. He owns. He's won on it 12 times before. And I'm going to go for number 13. I think Rafa is going to win it in 4 sets, as he did in 2005, 2006, 2007, 2011, 2013. And yeah, I don't think he's dropped a set in a in a Roland Garros final since then. So, and yeah, 2014, not 13. So yeah, hasn't dropped a set in a Roland Garros final since then, but he's won it in 4 sets 5 times. I think that's going to happen again. And well, the bet is, I got to wear this. But Rafa, he is king in the castle, and that's my bet there. Mankini on Monday, if one of you two is right and I am wrong. But Marc, your bet.
Wait, I'll I don't want to mention my bet because for a particular reason, actually, I didn't even think of this before we made this bet, because it's actually information that no one knows just yet. So yeah, I'll hold on to that one, and I'll do so. I'll come up with a little something special tomorrow if one of you guys gets the win and gets the result your way. I'll come up with something and hopefully not embarrass myself too much, but yeah, I'll definitely have something up my sleeve, and you'll have to stay tuned if that does happen, because yeah,
you don't want to miss it, guys. You do not want to miss it. You do not want to miss it. But no, it has been a very, very fun show, and I really hope I don't have to wear this green thing tomorrow, but yeah, it may very well happen. But yeah, come on, Rafa in 4, please. But also another omen that, and this is just to steer away from tennis, is that when the AFL finals have been on in the last 3 years, the most recent Grand Slam that has usually been the US Open. And in 2017 and 19, Rafa won it.
Oh, God, here we go.
Won the premiership. 2018, Djokovic won it. Richmond had a dismal night against Collingwood. But if Rafa does win, the omens are good, I hope. So come on, Rafa, get the Tigers home. Yeah, that's all I can say on that. So we better finish this because it's going to get very loose very quickly. Joel Fruci, thank you very much. And yeah, hopefully for your sake, you don't have to say what you're planning to say, because that's something that only the Nole fan would admit.
Yeah, I hope so, Val. It will be a serious deflating of the head very quickly.
Yeah, I think so. Well, yeah, you've been wobbling all day, and yeah, this one will probably pop that head right off there. But Marc, thank you, and sponsored very well by Head.
Yeah, I'm using my head really well. But yeah, looking forward to tonight. Hopefully I can stay up and watch it, because it's going to be an epic battle, and 2 players that have deserved to be in the final, and it's really exciting to watch. And yeah, looking forward to it. At the end of the day, you know, whoever wins. It's going to be a great match.
It's the collision course that none of us picked. But yeah, it has been absolutely fantastic. Marc and Joel, thank you very much. Val Furbo joining you as well. But remember, you can head to thetennismenu.com and grab an annual subscription for just $99.90 US with 600 tennis-specific drills and resources to make you a better tennis coach. Marc has done such an amazing job of that. And you can follow us on social media at The Tennis Menu on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, The Tennis Menu, LinkedIn, The Tennis Menu. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well as Anchor. So yeah, we're very excited to bring you what is going to be the final Grand Slam show of the year, which is really sad. We've loved bringing you all the news and coaching analysis from the US Open and the French Open, but we've still got one more fun show to go. Really excited. Val Marc and Joel Fruci. We'll see you all then.